2026 is around the corner, and maybe you spent 2025 applying for different remote jobs. You didn't hear back from any of them, or when you did, they gave you that generic email, sorry, we have decided to move on with the next candidate, blah, blah, blah. You felt some type of way. It's very hurtful. I know, I've been there before. And you feel like you want to throw in the towel. With the new year coming around, you're like, I'm going to do other things. Before you give up, I want to talk to you about job considerations that you should have with the new year coming around as you look for a remote work opportunity. Notice that I didn't say job non negotiables, I say job considerations because we are human beings and we can always change our mind. So let's talk about job considerations. The first one is work hours and time zone requirement. When I started working remotely, I was the kind of person who, if somebody said to me there is a remote work opportunity in UK time zone, I would be like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. Share my details with the client. I'm going to apply for this job opportunity. I was very uncertain about what time zone I wanted to work in. But now with time, I'm very clear. If the opportunity is not within the EST time zone or majority of the time zones in the US, I'm going to feel some type of way about working with that particular company or helping that client. So you need to be very certain. What time zone do you want to work in? How many hours do you actually want to spend working? If you're not clear with certain things like that, you find yourself just going for any opportunity. And clarity is very, very important in the pursuit of anything, especially when it comes to work. The second consideration to have at the back of your mind is the employment type. Do you want to work as a full time employee? Do you want to work as a contractor or freelancer? Or are you looking for part time roles? Or are you the kind of person who is going to get into commission based roles? You need to be very, very clear what you're actually signing up for. If you work as an employee, what are the benefits? If you work as a freelancer, what are the benefits? If you work on commission, what percentage of commission do you get? You need to be very, very clear of the employment type you want so that you don't find yourself just hopping around. If someone says they are looking for an employee position for this particular company, then what happens to all the freelance clients that you have? Do you give them up? So you have to have the employment type at the back of your mind. What kind of job do you want to do and what format actually works for you? For me, currently at the moment, it's the freelance thing. I work with a different number of people, and that's what I'm going to do as of now. The third one is compensation and currency. Compensation is important. Money, 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 money. Are you being paid in USD? Are they going to pay in your local currency? Also, something that's very, very important is if the salary is competitive for your location. If you're in Uganda like I do, if someone wants to pay this certain amount of money, can I survive on that amount of money? Let somebody not pay me $3 because I'm located in Uganda. Hello? Is that going to help me to do a number of different things that I want to do? Have that at the back of your mind. The salary has to be competitive for your location. Once it is, you will be able to live well. You'll be able to live well. So, also, do they also adjust to different global rates for different jobs? If your field is doing amazing right now, I think AI is the one that's kind of skyrocketing. How much money are they paying you if you're in such a field? So, definitely consider that because different companies pay differently depending on your location, depending on the time, depending on your experience. So have that at the back of your mind as you pursue these opportunities. Do your research for different jobs that you actually go for. Say, okay, I want to work as a virtual assistant. How much are they paying beginner virtual assistants or someone who has been in that industry for an extended period of time? I'm a video editor. I've been doing this for over 5 years. I have a strong portfolio. Can they actually pay me this amount of money? Research, research, research about compensation. Because if they're not compensating you well, it's going to reflect in your work. Remote jobs can be found in startups, established companies, agencies, as well as global corporations. Now, I know people do feel some type of way about startups. My brother, he felt some type of way about working at an agency. He's like, I don't want to work with an agency. I feel some type of way. I'm like, no, just apply for the job. And now he's doing amazing at an agency. I know a number of people who have had bad scenarios at startups because they felt like there was no stability. There was a lot of flexibility, but there wasn't any stability at all. And this affected me in the long run because they let us go. And then when I work with an established company, what are they offering me? Are they stable? but then they are not flexible. You have to have that at the back of your mind. So stability and company maturity is very important. If you're the kind of person who's open-minded, try out different things. Go and apply for roles at the startups. Go to the established companies. Go to the agencies. Personally, that's the kind of person that I am. When I started working remotely, I worked at an agency with Jocelyn. Hi, Jocelyn. I worked at TDM. It was amazing. It was amazing. The experience was amazing. The agency did go on to close, but trust me, everything that I learned in those 2.5 years working at the agency has enabled me to be the kind of worker that I am today. And I know there are people with different scenarios. So for me, I would say go where you want to actually go. Go to different companies and work for them. Consideration number 5 is communication style and company culture. Communication is the lifeline of remote work. You need to be very certain. Ask them during the interview process, what's your communication like as a remote work company? When do I expect to hear back from somebody if I reach out in regards to a matter? You don't want to work with people who are going to say, we take 1 to 3 days to get back to you. Huh? My anxiety has already skyrocketed just thinking about it. Like communication is very, very important if you work remotely. So you need it. So you'll be relying on written communication. You'll also be collaborating on different things digitally. You need to have clarity in regards to the communication part because if it's very uncertain, you actually don't have a job. You're just speaking, you're a pen pal or whatever. They'll get back to you about, after like 3 days or whatsoever. Yeah, they have other things going on. It's not a company you want to work with. So yeah, make sure that you're looking for good documentation. Do they have processes? Do they have tools and systems that they use to communicate? We use Slack. We do have a company WhatsApp if that's something they want to do. I have a client of mine, we do communicate on WhatsApp. We communicate within the tools and software, as the project management tools and software. In regards to this project, communication is important. The final consideration is work-life balance. Guys, who wants to be working 24/7? Not me. Personally, not me. Yes, even in all my workaholic nature, not me. I always pick one day during the week where I don't do anything. And most times it's Saturday. You know, if you email me on Saturday, I'm not going to respond. If I see a WhatsApp, if I see a Slack coming, I'll just say, let me just keep it there. Unless we're working on very urgent projects that are due like on Monday, but I won't respond. Saturday, I'm like, God, I need to clear my mind. So if you're looking for a company, check whether the company respects boundaries. If the company doesn't have any boundaries for you as an individual, you have no business working with them. You're gonna be frustrated. Nobody wants to clock in on Sunday. We're supposed to be at church praising God. Hello. And then someone is saying, check your email. No, no, no. We don't do that over here. So avoid 24/7 availability culture. We expect you to respond all the time. No, it doesn't work like that. God rested. So we need some days to rest. So keep that at the back of your mind. And above all, the biggest consideration that you should have is inclusion. Is inclusion. Out of all these things that I've said, if the company feels some type of way about hiring you because you're an African, leave them alone. Yes, point blank, period. Don't try to say to them, you know what? I'm a good person. I know I'm in Uganda. You guys can trust me. No. If you go for that interview and the hiring manager is asking you, so where are you located? And then they're like, you're in Uganda. Then they start referencing Idi Amin and all the bad things that that they know that happened in your country. Leave them alone. It says a lot about their culture. They're not inclusive. They should see you as an individual, not your whole country and everything bad that has happened with it. So keep that at the back of your mind. Inclusion above all. All right. So I hope this helps somebody as we get into the new year, 2026. I hope you actually apply these job considerations in your pursuit for remote work opportunities, and I pray that you are successful. I'm praying that everything that you do in the beginning of the year in your pursuit for work will be successful. I'll see you guys. Bye.